All right, you guys, welcome to this holiday special. Fridays with Franco. Boss man, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's Friday. It's Christmas time. 'Tis the season. Lots of good things going on, despite all the craziness that's going on, too, because there's always a little bit of good in everything. We're going to talk about some pretty cool stuff today. We're going to talk about the King of Tattoo convention in Japan. We got a bunch of giveaways. We decided to switch it up a little bit. So instead of doing the Facebook Fridays every Friday, right, which would be 4 times a month, we thought it would be better to do it probably about once a month or so and do some giveaways, kind of give some news about anything that's going on in the tattoo industry, such as King of Tattoo and just different things like that. Also, today we're going to be giving away some pretty cool stuff, including a Bishop wand of your choice. So before we get into the details of that, one of the main things we're going to be talking about today is the launch of our Arma grip, okay? As well as we are launching our newest glide from the Inkeeze family of products, Black Glide. Smells good too. So we'll talk about all these products. I'm going to pass the baton to James to get all the details on how you can go about entering these contests that we're going to be doing over the next hour. James.
All right, you guys, thanks again for tuning in here with Fridays with Franco. We have 4 giveaways. We're going to be doing 3 trivia questions. First person that leaves the correct comment in the comment section will be deemed the winner. But for the grand prize for today's giveaway, we're doing the Bishop wand. Sign up to bishoptattoosupply.com/giveaway. And you will be given your random number. And at 12:45, we're closing down the chance to win, and we'll be announcing the winner at 12:55. So we're pretty excited about that. We want to give everybody a chance to win a little something this holiday season.
Excellent.
Yep. So how was your trip to Hawaii, Franco?
It was pretty good. I'm going to do something unique. I missed my friend Norm, who's no longer with us, so I'm going to have him hang out, because he was like, he loved launching new products and making new things, so I just, spur of the moment, I'm going to grab him and put him on the table. Rest in peace, brother Norm. Hawaii was cool. I took a little quick break to Hawaii to clear my head, take the kids out, and have some fun, which we got to do. We work hard over here. We work hard for you guys. Lots of new products that we're going to be developing here and launching, such as today's Arma grip. Now, the first question is, you know, we get so busy. We're primarily a tattoo machine company. We love making tattoo machines, cutting edge. We got really busy with the wand machine, and thank you guys all so much, those of you who have tried the machine, all of our machines, the wand, especially our newest machine. So we had to put our Arma grip on the shelf while we dedicated some time to really, you know, get that going here. Anyhow, introducing the Arma grip. We have it in 2 sizes, 1 inch, 1.25 inch. We got a stainless steel version as well. So
we do. We're going to talk about the Arma grip and the adjustable grip here in a bit, but let's get everybody started with that first chance to win the first product. I think we're going to do the 4-ounce set of Nocturnals, which are right over to your side there.
Okay.
Ah, yes. Do you want to ask the question?
I'll ask the questions. Okay, so again, the first person that asks a question will be able to see it, all of us, on the answers. So we're going to be giving away some Nocturnal here. We got a full set. We've got the white. We've got all 3 of the shades, light, medium, and dark. We have the liner and the super black. So let's start with giving this away here. Question we're going to answer. First person that answers this question. First person that answers this question is going to win the Nocturnal set here. A little bit about Nocturnal. It was started by myself and Jack Rudy the legend. It was about 2013. We were trying to put a recipe together of an ink that had the velocity and consistency of like a Pelican or a Talons, yet dark as like some of the darkest brands out there, like a Dynamic or whatnot. But that was kind of what we set off to do. It was a really dark, easy to use, friendly ink, and that was the birth of Nocturnal. Nocturnal, figured the artist community is a creature of night. We get more creative at nighttime, so Nocturnal, being dark, night, black ink, thought it was appropriate. Jack Rudy did the artwork in about 2013, and gave birth to our awesome label that is hand-drawn, and just, I love it. I love everything about this ink. If you guys have tried this, you guys know how smooth and easy it is to work with, how dark it is, and how smooth and buttery gray it is. So, first question to win this little pack of nifty inks here is, when did Jack Rudy start tattooing? When did Jack Rudy start tattooing? What year? I'll give you guys one hint. It was the year I was born.
Well, we actually already have somebody that has a winner because we had it put up on the board and somebody was really quick to the draw, Franco.
Oh, snaps.
We have a winner. And
Okay.
let's see, we got Joseph Jones who answered 1975. So Joseph Jones, when you get a chance, send us a Facebook Messenger and get us your information, and we'll get that nocturnal ink out to you as soon as possible.
Awesome. So we're going to be doing this again. Every time we do a Friday Live, we're going to be doing giveaways, kind of like a tattoo trivia, as it always is our goal to help educate you guys, some of the young artists that may not know some of these answers. I, as a tattoo artist of 27 years, believe it's very important for everyone to know the roots and where they come from. So we are going to do our best and help attribute to that cause, the cause of education and knowledge of our history and, you know, the foundations that were paved before us. So, awesome. Congratulations, my man. You get the first prize. Stay tuned for that one packer.
Yeah, we've been having a lot going on since our last Fridays with Franco. I mean, when you went on vacation, we had the King of Tattoo out there in Japan.
King of Tattoo is awesome.
Mick really held it
We're
down.
gonna pack this episode. We have a lot to talk about in 1 hour. Let's get into the King of Tattoo. King of Tattoo, 10th annual. This show, as and always will be, prestigious. It's a very difficult convention to get into, primarily because tattooing was illegal in Japan. But now that it's not illegal in Japan, we had the 10th annual. Bishop was fortunate to sponsor this convention. We sent out Traveling Mick, our dear brother, to represent Bishop, Nocturnal, and Inkeeze, as well as Da Vinci. And yeah, it was pretty cool plugging in with Mick to kind of see what was going on. It was a very small, as you can imagine, convention due to COVID. But look, next year, if everything aligns, in terms of COVID and this thing going on, we're gonna come heavily packed. We're gonna bring a pretty cool roster of artists that we sponsor. We're gonna tear it up in Japan. James, you looking forward to that?
Man, that is gonna be an
I love
amazing
Japan.
trip.
Japan is enriched in tattoo culture and history. For you guys that know, we'll get into that on a different episode. But Japan's a special place. It's a special place for tattooing, just for tattooing culture and history. So it went really well. Normally about 35 to 45 artists attend. This year was, like I said, much smaller. But it was the first time we can kind of start revving that engine back up. So King of Tattoo, thank you guys for all of your support in King of Tattoo.
Yeah, Shige really held it down out there, man.
Shige, Horiyoshi 3, we have Horihide, we have Kazoo. Gosh, all kinds of people have attended this show throughout the year.
Gogwe, Hernandez.
Jeff Gogwe, Hernandez, Tim Kern, Hanky Panky, and many, many more. So this is, again, with so many conventions going on throughout the year, we've kind of been jaded because there's so many. There's hundreds and hundreds going on. This one reminds me of Inkslinger's Ball. It's a very unique convention. So looking forward to next year, really going big in Japan. All right. So
we're getting ready to talk about the Arma grips and the adjustable grips, and because today's topic is about stroke and throw.
Yep.
And so with that being said, I mean, we do have the Da Vinci needles, right?
Mm-hmm. We got some on the website too.
We do? Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
So we're getting more and more every week. We get a new order in. Every Friday, I want to have an educational piece that teaches a little bit about the tattoo process. These pieces are based upon all the questions we get. We get tons of questions, but some questions are, I believe, very important. One of them being what we're going to talk about today, which rides right into the release of the Arma grip, which is the benefits of throw, the benefits of depth, the benefits of how long do I hang my needle out of the cartridge. And there's lots of opinions, but I think that what we're dealing with really is a recipe, an XYZ of the ink velocity, how thick or how thin is your ink, how does that relate and compare to how much your needle is protruding out the end of the cartridge, right? The depth, or the throw as they call it. So I first want to say depth and throw are the same thing. There's a lot of miscommunication, there's a lot of confusion with depth, throw, and stroke. As a reminder, and of course the ones that know this, don't worry, but there's a lot of people that don't really understand the concept of stroke, throw, and depth. So stroke, of course, is going to be assigned to the cam. So if you have a machine and it's got a 3.5 stroke or a 4.2 stroke, or like our wand liner, a 5.0 stroke, you can't change that. It's assigned to it. It has to do with how far that needle moves up and down. So it's moving 3.5 millimeters, 4.2 millimeters, or 5 millimeters. And a lot of people didn't know that. They would always wonder, what does 3.5 mean? What does 4.2 mean? They thought it was just like the name, like the name of a car, like a V12 engine. Like, they didn't understand really what it is. But in simple terms, guys, it's the measurement of millimeters in terms of up and down movement. And there's such a thing called velocity and inertia, right? And so, and I won't get too deep into that, but it's gonna parlay into the topic of depth and throw. So the higher that needle moves up and down, the more force it comes with it. It's kind of like if you're punching from 1 inch or you're punching from a foot, you have more momentum, you have more inertia, you have more energy basically built up, so that when you finally hit that target, in the case of tattooing the skin, when that needle finally hits that skin, how much force, how much inertia, how much energy is behind that solid push, going 7,900 RPM at a 9-volt setting, or whatever your favorite setting is. That's a lot of RPM. That needle's moving 7,900 times a minute, and that's sort of an average. Even at 6,500 RPM a minute, you're talking a lot of power. As it always is, I want to educate you all to understand these concepts, to understand the psychology of everything we're talking about in terms of power, RPM, torque, angles of the needle, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm kind of setting the platform up to really dive deep into the conversation of throw and depth. Again, throw and depth are the same thing. We get a lot of people asking us, what's the difference between depth and throw? It's very simple. It's simply how far is that needle hanging out of the end of the tube, or of the cartridge needle, okay? And there's many benefits for having it hang out a little and a lot. So let's get into depth throw and explain here exactly what's going on. Clear the air. If you guys have any questions too about the stroke and throw, let me know. What's really cool about our grip, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it as I explain the concept of throw and depth, is we have our stainless steel version. A lot of people have been asking for a heavier adjustable cartridge grip, and so we have that. So one cool thing I want to mention is it's a click grip, okay? It moves about 6.5 millimeters, so you can play with your depth however you want. Very well made. We've been working on this for many years, but like I said, we put it on the shelf due to just really immersing ourselves and our time and energy into the wand machine, which I know you guys are grateful for. But anyhow, we are here. It's time to release this grip here. James, are they available right now?
They are available at Bishop Tattoo Supply.
So these are now available. Many years asking, when is the Bishop version of the adjustable grip going to come? What's different about ours? It's a lot. So we're going to go ahead and play a quick video to kind of explain a little bit about how it looks and talk about it, and then I'll get back with you guys and discuss some more. You guys are going to be hyped on this grip. I think that this shape, this feel, we've tested it with several, gosh, probably 100 artists or more. Just, tell us what you think of this grip. It's a straight up grip. It's pretty cylindrical. You have, couple notches. You have 5 notches in the grip. They kind of rest on your finger, and depending on how you hold it, they're about 1.5 inches long, these notches. So you can grab it close to the front. You can grab it way back here. It just fits really, really nicely in your hand. It's very ergo. But one thing we did that's different is we launched a stainless steel version. These things were hard to make. It's, for any of you guys know, it's hard to machine stainless steel. These are very heavy. Why? Well, we've had hundreds of people asking. We want metal. We want stainless steel grips. A lot of times people don't really enjoy lining with rotaries, and sometimes it's not the machine, it's not the power, it's simply how light the machine is. We've said this in previous videos, the heavier your machine is, the easier it lines. So a lot of people are choosing to use these stainless steel grips to do line work in their rotaries. And it's crazy because you can put this stainless steel grip on a machine, on a rotary machine, that you previously could not line with, and all you do is add this heavy grip, and your needles are just sinking in the skin. Your lining work is coming out just like a coil. And that's something we've asked, and we've had many artists try out and confirm. So stainless steel is now available. We have them in non-adjustable, and we have them in adjustable. They fit on pretty much any machine that's got a grip, a collet grip, a thumb screw. They accept any cartridges out there on the market. Hopefully you guys are loving the new DaVinci V2s. But yeah, these allow you, as we all know, to adjust your throw, to adjust your depth of the needle. So let's get into what that means. And feel free to ask any questions, because this isn't a topic that's widely talked about, but it's a big deal when you're tattooing. A lot of people that are doing like the fine line, the mini portraits, a lot of times people can't really seem to figure out how they're doing that. And a lot of times it has to do with the viscosity of the ink, as well as what I call riding the needle. Riding the needle is when you have your needle hung out 3 to 4 millimeters. Now, sometimes that blows people's mind because, and I've tattooed like that my whole career. And I like to see the tip of the needle. I work off the needle tip. And you'll hear that term too, working off the tip of the needle. That means your eyes are focused on the needle and where that needle is landing in the skin. What that does is it trains your mind to really hone in on the detail. And I'm going to throw it out there because I just started wearing glasses about a year ago. If you really can't seem to really find that needle tip and see where it's penetrating the skin and see the effects of the needle and what it's doing, try grabbing a pair of 150s, maybe some 2s, some 2.0s. It's a game changer. I know plenty of people that do not wear glasses, like myself, but I will put them on for tattooing. So I just want to say these little things matter. A nice pair of glasses while you're doing fine line tattoos, working off the tip of the needle, it all matters. It's mind-blowing how just it comes to life. So if you're one of those artists that's working off the tip, you already know what I'm talking about. For those that haven't and want to try, you tend to get more detail, you tend to get more precision. It holds you to a higher standard because when you're working off the tip of the needle, you can see, like, especially if you're doing fine line, single needle, or a tight 3 or even a tight 5, you can just see more detail. A lot of times what that does too is when you have the needle hanging out long, you tend to not get, bulk ink drops. We've all been tattooing. We all pull lines. We all get in there to detail the eye or the pupil. And next thing you know, the ink just blobs out on the skin. It pisses you off, especially when you still have the stencil on the skin and you can't really afford to lose it. And for that, I suggest dabbing that dot away versus wiping it away. Because sometimes when you wipe it away, it smears a black line. Then you got to wipe that away, and next thing you know, your stencil may be in jeopardy. So people always ask, how do I prevent that drop from happening? Well, first of all, there's a mixture of a lot of things, and this is what makes tattooing so damn hard versus learning how to paint or whatnot. You want to just make sure you're not loading too much ink, because a lot of times people will dip their liner needle or whatever needle in their ink cap and just load it up, and then if their needle is not hung out perfect, it'll blob. Now, when you're doing certain kind of shades with mags, you kind of want that. There's certain times I'm scrubbing like a cheek and the ink comes out. I like that. It's just like more to work with and whatnot. But the times that I'm lining, the times that I'm doing fine detail, I do not want that. Either do you guys. So for that matter, there is you're going to have to play with your needle depth. If you guys want to try to ride the tip and hang your needle out very long, just kind of like sample it. Because here's one thing too. If it's too long, if it's hanging out too long, you won't get any ink flow, especially if you're using a thicker ink. So just play around with your depth and what you want to do. But again, the longer you have your needle hanging out, especially your lining needle, you're going to be able to exact more detail. When it comes to mags and other types of needles, it's a little bit of a different philosophy. You don't necessarily have to hang it out too much, but although guys like David Vega, they hang it out generally more than others. Myself, I do too. I still like to work off the tip, even from a mag, especially when you're chiseling in that detail. You want to have full control. So I find that I can simply say that when you have your needle hanging out a lot more than normal, you're going to have a little bit more power in terms of exacting the detail.
Now, Franco, we actually have some really good questions, but
Bring 'em
I
on.
think we'll answer the questions or ask the questions in just a moment. But I think we have giveaway number 2.
Hold those questions. We're going to get to them. Let's give away something else. It's Christmas time, right?
It is. It's
okay.
the season, right?
I forgot my Santa hat, but in spirit. In spirit. Okay, so we're going to give away some Da Vinci needles. Yep, we're going to be giving away some boxes of Da Vinci needles. How many boxes are we giving away?
They get 3 boxes of their choice.
Three boxes of Da Vinci needles. Again, these Da Vinci needles have been flying off the shelf, the V2. If you guys have tried to order them and they have not been in stock, I assure you we've ordered 4 times as many as we did our first V1. We just didn't know that they would be that successful. They're made with the utmost quality. Carlos Torres, one of my favorite tattooers and business partners, and myself have used these needles quite a bit. So a lot of artists, besides Carlos, we've had Nikki Norberg, we've had tons of different artists. So we've had, James, like 50, 60, 70, maybe 100 artists try them out?
Absolutely. I mean, we've had people from around the world, our guys out in London. We've had Shige running them. We've got our guys in Australia running them with Mayo. We've got lettering guys, fine line, color packing.
So, it's awesome. And these needles have been made. We've changed so much about these needles in a 2-year period to make them exact. Each needle fits in its own cartridge. We don't have shared cartridges like a lot of other brands do. Each needle has its own cartridge. That's where you're going to get the precision. We have a perfect, precise movement, perfect membrane tension, not too much, not too little. So we're going to give it away now. So for those that don't know, the question is going to be, I want to know, who's my business partner that helped me design these needles? Answer the question.
We're waiting for that answer. But
who helped me design these needles? We've worked with hundreds of artists, but there was only one that worked with me for a couple years on designing these needles. And this artist, I'll give you a hint, he's badass. I'll give you one more hint. He's bad fucking ass. I'll give you another hint. Damn, he's good. One more hint. He's probably one of my top 5 favorite tattooers and artists in the world.
Well, I'm sure we've got some answers, but we've got a couple questions. We'll announce the winner here in just a second.
Okay.
Actually, our winner from the first one, Joseph Jones, had a great question about the stainless steel grips. Are you going to be making those for the wand in the future?
So, yes, we are. We are, actually. They're actually in production right now as we speak. That's been a request for many people. I mean, as you guys know, too, stainless steel is a lot easier to autoclave. It's a lot easier to sterilize. So, stainless steel grips for the wand will be available maybe in about the next month to 2 months.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that.
Okay, our friend Jesus Alvidrez was asking, would you recommend using the Arma grip with the V6? He's used other cartridge grips with the V6 and always seems to have an issue with it slipping and sliding.
Okay, now are you talking about adjustable or non-adjustable? Because that's kind of the key. So we put some notches in our in the neck of these that kind of help secure it. It's kind of a, you want to tighten it down really, really good. I would definitely recommend using these in the V6 completely. I mean, I've tried it on several tattoos during the process of making these, and that was one of the first tests we did, was how, actually I have one over here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so it secures really tight. Secures really tight. A lot of times the neck was made, a little too small in diameter on certain cartridge and on certain grips. Ours is pretty nice, pretty thick, but yeah, no problem at all. No problem. I didn't even wrench it down too tight. So, yeah, I mean, here's the answer to your question, my friend. They work beautiful. Another reason why that happens is because of the tension. So a lot of times these certain adjustable tubes that are in the market, they have too much tension. You have to twist them. It requires a lot of wrist power to make the twist. And so what happens is you start twisting the entire thing. So ours twists very easy. It's a ball bearing type of movement, and we did that particularly on purpose so that that problem would not happen. Yeah.
We have our raffle number 2 winner of the Da Vinci 3 boxes of their choice. Our friend Mr. Sean Robinson answered Mr. Carlos Torres.
Yes,
Congratulations,
sir.
Sean. So if you
Congrats, Sean.
send us a messenger to and Gabe
Send
will
it
go
on
ahead and
in.
we'll get your information and we'll get that taken care of for you. So thanks again for tuning in, my friend.
And
Go ahead.
any more questions on?
Actually, this gentleman, Hamsel de la Cruz, was asking about cleaning his needle for fine work when you can't get the ink flow. Does that mean something may be wrong with the cartridge, or is there...
Yeah. That's a good question. That's a good question. So here's what happens. All ink, especially color, and especially over a long period of tattooing, it tends to dry. I I experience this when I'm airbrushing. It's called tip dry. And with airbrushing, you grab the dried ink on the very end of the needle and you pull it off, okay? And of course, tattoo artists do that too. Dip cap really helps with that. And so this is kind of a little tip I'll give you guys. A lot of times people don't know to clean their needle as often as they should. Here's one tip that I do. If I have 4 needles and I'm tattooing a piece and I'm working with one of the needles, right, and I'm tattooing for say 10 minutes and I'm done with that needle and maybe I won't need to pick it up for another 10 minutes. I'm going to move on to my other needles. Instead of just simply stopping my tattoo and putting that needle down, right, I won't do that, because if I do that, say I'm in like a liner ink where it's kind of it's more thick and it's got more pigment. Those tend to dry faster than say like a light gray, right? Like a 3-drop or a 2-drop, which has more water. So the more water that tattoo, whatever's in the chamber, right? The more water, the less of that issue you'll have. The more pigment, the more of that issue you have. So what I do, I always have a water cup like everyone else does. I dip in the water cup. I briefly graze it on my dip cap. For some of you that use napkins, you can do the same thing, but of course you got to be careful so you don't get anything in the tip of liners. With mags, it tends to not be an issue. But yeah, so what I do is dip it in water, clean it off. If you guys don't like to clean it off, because some people don't want to risk getting a little particulates inside the needle, so here's what I do. I'll dip it in the water when I'm done using it, right? I'll shake it a little bit and I'll take that needle off and I'll leave it, right? Like I said, if I'm not going to use that needle for 10 minutes, I know that it's going to have water. And so what's going to happen is when I go to grab it again, all I have to do is just run it dry really quick and then pick up whatever tone or whatever color I'm going to be using. But I call it like the little water trick. So a lot of times I've seen it over and over at conventions. People will look, they'll stop tattooing with the pigment and they'll just simply put it there. I'll walk by people's booths and I'll see these needles that are not being used, but they're loaded with pigment. Especially for you color guys out there, that's going to dry. It's going to dry and you're going to end up having to like use 2 or 3 cartridges throughout that process. So load it with water, use dip cap or a napkin very carefully, and put it there and make sure that you clean your tip often. A lot of people don't clean their tips, but maybe once every 30, 40 minutes. That's another reason why it gets tip dry. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question.
See, our friend Inkeeze is asking about the V6. Would you say that that's a great for lining?
V6 is a damn good machine for lining. I would definitely suggest the 4.2 version. Got a longer stroke, therefore more power. It's got a powerful motor already. Absolutely. I think that most people, even before we launched the liner wand, were choosing the V6 4.2 for all their lining needs. It's got more of a coil type of balance. But I'll tell you what, a V6 with a stainless steel grip, not messing around at all. This thing's going to sink lines in there. I'll buy your machine and your grip back if you don't agree with me. This is a really good setup for lining. A 4.2 V6 with an adjustable grip. You don't even need an adjustable. You could even do the non-adjustable if you want. Because a lot of times when people are using the V6, a lot of times to that point, they're using it just for lining. They might use a different machine for the shading. So for that matter, you may not need to adjust.
We've got our friend, which actually will probably lead us pretty much into our next giveaway, but we have our friend Sean. Oh, we've got a little bit more time left until 12:45. You guys, make sure you go to bishoptattoosupply.com/giveaways and sign up for your chance to be in the raffle for a Bishop wand. We will be announcing the winner at 12:55, so the window will be closing at 12:45. So make sure you hop over, open up another link, click in, and then come back over here because we're about to give away the third here in just a second. But we got our friend Sean Robinson asking, what is that black tub of Inkees that's sitting in front of you, Franco?
People have been asking about this. Inkees, founded by Mr. Sean Hoy, my business partner, Carlos Torres, my business partner. Inkees has been known to supply a little different twist on glides. I think when I first started tattooing, I was tattooing with petroleum, right? Then I switched to A&D ointment, and that was all the craze. Everybody was using it. And again, tattooing's primitive. Still, to this day, tattooing's primitive. It's an industry that hasn't been around for hundreds of years in terms of the commercial part of it. As we know, it's been around for thousands and thousands of years, as late as 5,000 years. But commercial tattooing, body art like you see today, didn't really start really getting popular until the 90s, right? Been around in the 80s, like Jack Rudy, started in 75, but really starting to get popular was in the 90s. As you guys know, when the reality shows started coming out, it spread like wildfire. So Inkees started in 2009. Sean Hoy is the founder. He's a serious collector. He's been tattooed by some of the best tattooers in the world. And he thought it would be cool to come out with like a different choice. So instead of using bacitracin or A&D or petroleum, he wanted to offer different colors, different scents to make that experience a little bit better. A lot of times just the smell of A&D would freak out some customers, and it was just a hospital type of smell, right? So Green Glide, he launched Green Glide in 2009. For those of you that have been supporting and using Green Glide, it's probably, now this is for people that love the petroleum product, some of the highest grade, food grade, clean petroleums you can buy in the market, because there is such a thing as levels of purity in a petroleum product. He then added vitamins and just a bunch of different things that are healthy for the skin, and he made it smell good. So it's got a nice lavender smell to it. Then from there, together as we merged and joined companies, we launched Purple Glide, which those of you who love it and use it, you know that it's a different color. Artists, we like choices. That's really what separates, I think, us from the rest of the world, the rest of the industries in there. Like musicians tend to dye their hair pink, purple, and gray, wear a mohawk, shave their head. Creative people, especially artists, we just like colors. We like different things. We don't want everything to be the same. So leading up to the question, we then launched Pink Glide. Pink Glide has been crazy. I personally, it's one of my favorites. It smells like bubble gum. It's the natural ingredients too. This isn't crap. There's no parabens or shit like that in this stuff. This is all top quality ingredients. But yeah, it's pink. It smells like bubble gum. The ladies love it. Tons of guys. I think we sell more to guys than even girls. But Pink Glide is awesome. And so we sit around a lot, and during product development conversations we have here, we think, you know, what color next? What smell next? And it was kind of like, you know, everybody loves black. Everybody loves blacking out their cars, tinting the windows. There's a cool brand called Black out of Paris. I'm sure some of you guys follow them. They do collaborations with different companies, and they'll just black out everything. It could be a can of Coke, and it's blacked out. It could be an iPhone case blacked out. So we thought, wow, that'd be cool to have a black glide. But we don't know if that's possible because we don't want it to be opaque and mess up the tattoo process. So it took a while for Sean to develop the right consistency, the right transparency, right? Has to be transparent, just like all of our colors. And yeah, we finally came up with a really cool smell, a really cool consistency. And so yeah, we're going to introduce our black. Is this available, James?
It is.
Right now?
It is available.
Right this second?
Right now.
So you mean people can leave this page and go right there and buy some?
They absolutely could.
Wow. Okay, but don't leave yet. Wait till we're done. We're almost done. Pick up your black eye. We don't have a lot in stock. This is a sample run. I think we've had like maybe 300 or 400 bottles jars of it. And this stuff's awesome. I've been using it for like the last month. Carlos loves it. I love it. It's very transparent, so when you put it on the skin, you may think at first it'll kind of mess with your vision if you're doing a black and gray piece or a color piece, but it doesn't. So check out our Black Glide. Let us know what you think. For those that try it out, let us know what you think. Leave some comments on our Instagram, whether it be the Inkeeze Instagram or the Bishop Instagram. We want to know what you think. Should we get into the... Well, actually, I want to do one more thing. The last thing about the benefits of throw and depth. You've heard me say XYZ. XYZ is a concept that I'll continue to parlay into each element of education when we're talking about motors, when we're talking about depth. XYZ is like, you hear the term, the stars have to be aligned, right, for something good to happen. So when you're tattooing and you're frustrated because something's not working, you're wanting something good to happen, right? So the stars need to align, and that's where the XYZ comes into play. Simply by adjusting your XYZ in anything when you're tattooing will make it or break it. It'll make the guy next to you tattooing have no problem outlining, and versus you might having the problem to outline. So the XYZ in throw, right? How your depth is, how much your needle protrudes out of the cartridge. There's an XYZ factor involved. For me, it's going to be the length of how long your needle's hanging out. It's going to be the viscosity of the ink, right? And it's going to be the angle of the needle. We've all had to kind of play with the angle of the needle in the skin. A lot of times we angle it a little bit to make that outlining a little bit easier, because we notice that if it's completely vertical for some reason, it's not quite digging in there. So when you come at an angle, a slight angle, because too much angle, what's that going to do? That's going to lead to bleeding. So too much of an angle. So the XYZ of throw is very important. For example, if you have a thicker ink, if you're doing like a blue or a yellow or a thicker color, you can't really hang your needle out that much because the viscosity is so thick that it's going to tend to hold up into the ink chamber versus the tip of the needle that's going in the skin. Contrast and compare that to a fine black ink such as nocturnal lining and shading. That's a very thin viscosity. You're going to be able to hang that needle way out there, which is good for all you fine liners, and have no problems. Now, the Z, meaning the angle, right? That's another thing too. So if you have your needle hung out very long, as long as you'd like, 3-4 millimeters, you have a nice viscosity ink that you're working with, and you're still struggling with getting your pepper shading or your line work, you may want to just adjust your angle, okay? Again, I think the sweet spot is slightly off, maybe 10 degrees, right? I find that that's a safe zone. Anything after, again, you're risking bleeding, especially if you're going too deep. So the XYZ factor, play with that, play with the viscosity. I encourage you guys to play with the depth and the length of the needle, and just have fun with it. So XYZ, all those things matter. You have to have a perfect combination. And when you mix that with the other XYZ, which we've talked about before, which is hand pressure, speed, hand speed, and voltage, right? They play into each other. So I think that when you have these tattoo artists that are so good, they're so good, right? They've mastered these different compartments of tattooing and the XYZs of each compartment. But not only have they mastered that in each of its department, they're able to play with each other. They're able to flow fluidly. There's a current of energy going through these compartments of tattooing so that every aspect is flawless. It's a feeling that they've developed. They don't even need to think about it. They could listen to music and talk and just flow. So a lot of you guys that have been struggling with different things with tattooing, continue to ask us questions. For those that send me DMs, I get back to you. If I haven't gotten back to you yet, send me another one. I try to answer about 10 to 15 a day if I can. I get a lot of them, but I love talking to you guys. It brings me great joy to be able to answer your questions. Again, Bishop doesn't want to just sell you equipment. We want to be the best at customer service. We want to be there for you. I don't give a damn how busy I am. I will get back to your questions eventually, if not right away. because it's what I love to do. So, James, where are we at?
We are about to give away some Inkees. We're giving away a little goodie bag. We've got a 6-pack of the ink guards.
Ooh.
We've got a little CBD glide.
Okay.
We've got a little green glide.
Okay.
And we got some foam soaps.
Okay. So we're giving away...
We've got the...
Oh, we got more over here.
Yes,
Oh,
we're giving a little 6-pack.
Inkee's Green Glide. This is a product that started it all for Inkees in 2009. Actually, before that, Sean was formulating since 2007. Tattoo artist owned. Be proud. This stuff has been throughout the tattoo world for many, many years now. Gosh, it's this is one of the first glides out for the tattoo community. CBD Glide, the first CBD glide out for the tattoo community. Awesome product. We have a new one coming with even more milligrams of CBD. So this is, again, one of my favorites. I like them all, but I tend to have favorites like anything. And do they get the black glide? I think we need to.
I'm sure we can find one.
We're going to, even if I have to give away my untouched brand new bottle or jar.
We can do that.
We have to.
There we go.
We're talking about the black. How pissed would you be if you won the Inkees product after hearing about the black glide and it's not included? You can't do that to him, James.
You're true. Right? You're true on that one.
It's only right. We got to do the right thing.
Tell you what, people, we're going to throw in the black glide just for you at home. Yes.
Okay. You're gonna get
so we've got that question for people because we're about to close down here in 3 minutes. You guys, 3 more minutes. You have a chance to register for a chance to win the raffle. BishopTattooSupply.com/giveaways, and you could win a wand of your choice.
That is right. Believe the man. He is not lying. So, okay, we're going to give a 6-pack of our Inkees Ink Guard. This is ahead of its time, you guys. This is... More and more people are using it. This is all I've been using. I can't tattoo without this. It's a spray. It's a spray-on Band-Aid. It replaces your standard, what's some of the names, or in general? I don't even want to say names of brands, but I think 3M invented this technology. Yeah. But it's your film. It's your standard dermafilm, tattoo film. This replaces it. No more cutting up shapes and having to, fumble with, like, unwrapping it and putting it on the skin without any air bubbles, which I was always not the best at. You dry the tattoo off completely, right? And what you'll do is you'll spray a puddle right in the middle of where you tattooed, and you'll literally finger paint the exact shape of the tattoo. If it's a Sacred Heart, you'll spray a little glob in the middle, and you'll finger paint right there, covering just the tattoo. Wait for it to dry. It takes about 15 to 30 seconds to dry. And then I always encourage putting 2 to 3 coats on it. But you want to wait for them to stop bleeding. A lot of times they stop right away, but then you get customers that are still seeping, for 10, 15 minutes. So wash them up real good, wait for it to stop seeping. You put this stuff on, it heals way faster, way faster. What it does, it's a biohack. It tricks the skin into thinking you formed a scab over it. So it doesn't scab, right? And what happens is it starts to heal and activate that healing process on the underneath of the spray, of this layer. People that we use it on are just blown away on how fast it heals. So the winner of this package here, the Inkees package, when was Inkees founded? What year? God, I even helped out with this, huh?
You did.
Yeah.
You actually did.
Let's see how long it takes. Do we have a winner?
See, not quite yet, but we do have a couple questions, and I'm pretty sure you know which question I'm about to ask because you know what the people want, Franco.
If I had to guess, it would be the battery pack.
Just maybe.
It'd be this here.
Just maybe.
This here battery pack, right? Okay, this is on its way. I think we're going to receive the first shipment from the factory Monday or Tuesday. I mean, what's crazy about this is we're going to get these damn things before our packaging arrives, which always makes me sad. So we're going to have these probably next week or so, and then we're going to wait for our packaging to arrive. Speaking of, I think we get samples today, James.
We should. Fingers crossed.
So these are so close. No more, I'm not sure when they're coming. No more, they haven't been finished. They're finished. We have the first run finished. There's going to be about 1,000 of them, right? 1,000 of these will be available. They're going to go fast. They're only going to be available on our website. We can't even give them to the distributors at the moment because we don't have enough. So get yours. We're going to probably talk a lot about this when it's ready, but they could be arriving as early as next week. So stay tuned. Did that answer your question?
That definitely did. And we do have a winner for the Inkeeze package.
One.
Leva Manuel de Jesus. Congratulations, my friend.
Where's he from?
Doesn't have it listed. Can't click over, else I lose all the comments.
He's probably located somewhere in the world, I would imagine.
Somewhere in the world, but tell you what, my friend, please send us a messenger, and we'll have Gabe get your information, and we'll get that package out to you. Congratulations, and wishing you and your family happy holidays. We've got a couple more questions before we finish up with the raffle today, Franco.
There's 9 more minutes to enter the raffle. Head to the website.
The raffle's already closed. So we've got a couple minutes to get everything taken care of so we can generate the winner here.
Okay.
But Ayal Noy is asking, I see people lined with the Packer at about 4.8 to 5.5 volts. I have a V6 4.2 stroke. Is it the same motor?
Great question.
Should it behave and play the machine the same as the Packer?
Good question. It is a different motor, right? It's a different motor. We've talked about this in different videos. Each motor is assigned a nominal voltage, meaning it's born with a specific, you guys have all bought batteries, right? You got the AAAs, the AA's, you have a 9-volt, the square 9-volt battery. So those batteries they're sort of programmed to be this nominal voltage. Again, like the square battery is a 9-volt battery, or some of the AA's and AAA's are like a 1.5 or a 3-volt battery. So motors are the same. They're birthed at a particular voltage. The motor in the V6 is a 9-volt nominal motor, which means at 9 volts you're going to get around 7,900 RPM. Okay. With the liner and the Packer, at 6 to 7 volts, you're going to get that same speed, 7,900 RPM. So that's why if you look at our card, the informational card in the wand, you'll find that the shader has a 9-volt motor, a smaller motor, and you can crank that up to 9 to get 7,900 RPM. So therefore, that machine, as well as the V6, you're going to use it around 8 or 9 volts to do the job. Whereas with the liner or the Packer, you can get away with 6 volts. So so that's what he probably discovered and tripped out. He's like, what the heck? I got my V6 cranked up to like 8. This guy's got his wand cranked up to 5, and he's lining with it. What the heck? So at the V6 at 8 volts, the Packer at 5 volts, it's a similar RPM. I would crank it up to 6. If you're lining at 5 volts, cool. That's pretty hardcore. I would imagine your hand speed is very slow, which is actually that's not bad. It's a style, right? I tend to line a little bit slower too, just really making sure it gets in there. Slower you line, remember going back to the XYZ factor, the slower you line, the less voltage you need. The faster your hand moves, the higher the voltage needs to be. XYZ, it all has to play together perfectly for the stars to align. And what happens when the stars align, James? Something good happens.
Oh.
Okay. So, any other questions, James?
Actually, frankly, everybody, you seem to be motivating all of these artists out there with your knowledge. Who are some of the people that inspire you?
That's a good question. Gosh, I have a lot of people that inspire me. The biggest inspiration is not so much those that are really good, because there's so many good tattoo artists out there. Who inspires me are people that set trends, set styles, that are moving and shaking, that are believing in themselves. Who inspires me are crazy people. Crazy motherfuckers. People that are thinking outside the box. People that are doing things that people told them was dumb or stupid or they shouldn't do. People that are talented. People that are, just really going out there. Guys like Cartoon. Cartoon's one of my biggest inspirations. He's nonstop. Always doing something. He's always pushing the envelope, working late nights to make things happen. Guys like Jack Rudy, legendary people that did things before anyone else, that paved the way, that are still alive and showing us the way. So legends inspire me, James. Legends inspire me, and people that are doing big things. In terms of quality, right, like just technical, I'd have to say Nicky Norberg out of Sweden. I've gotten quite a few tattoos from him. They heal perfect. They're awesome. He's very technical. He picks away at every ounce of detail. I'm inspired by Nikki Norberg. I'm inspired by David Vega. God, I'm inspired by a lot of people, you know.
We were with Mr. Cartoon last night.
Oh, man. Stay tuned for another Mr. Cartoon project. If I had a top choice in terms of tattoo inspiration, it's going to be Mr. Cartoon and Jack Rudy and Freddie Negretti. That's 3.
That's a pretty solid tattoo Mount Rushmore right
one.
there.
And I'm proud to say I'm dear friends with all of them. And proud to say they all use Bishop products, even Jack. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. But hey, you know what, guys? Be the inspiration. Everyone can be the inspiration. That's the thing. So don't just think you're just a regular tattoo artist out there tattooing that doesn't matter. Get crazy. Believe in yourself. Do crazy things. Dare to dream. That's what I am. I'm just a dreamer at the end of the day. If I can do it, James, who can do it?
Anybody can.
I rest my case.
Anybody can. Let's see. We got probably time for a couple more questions here. We've got one from our friend Carlos Fonseca.
Okay.
2-inch metal grips, 2-inch disposable grips. Are we going to make those?
2 inches are already out.
I think they're looking for regular, like,
Oh,
Arma
okay,
grips.
okay. Yeah, those will be coming soon. Give us about 4 months or so. We're going to be working on some big grips, for sure. It will be in the disposable, adjustable category because people don't really order disposable grips anymore. It's only disposable, adjustable, which makes sense. So, stay tuned for that. Yes.
Okay, let's see. What you were talking about, does the rule for lining, bolt, and hand speed apply to Type 3 liners as well? Our friend India Joy Rush is asking.
Absolutely, and that's a damn good question. So check this out. We're going to go with 3 needles to illustrate that question. We're going to go with a single needle, a Type 3, and a Type 7 or 9, right? Just like a bigger needle, basically. Okay. That XYZ application changes from each one of those needles. Remember earlier I said there's so many compartments to tattooing, but the ones that are great know how to flow like electricity. They know how to navigate through each compartment, and they've perfected the XYZ in each department. For example, if you have an XYZ psychology that works best for you on a 1207 liner needle, you can't apply that same psychology to a single needle. It's like slamming a hot butter knife through butter. You got to be a little bit more careful. You got to be a little bit more finicky. So yeah, that's going to answer that question in great detail, James. The XYZ does factor into your choice of needles, not by much, but there is something. I'll give you an example. A 1203, a tight 1203, and a tight 1205, same psychology. A tight 1205 compared to a 1207, it adjusts a little bit. And how I would easily adjust that is slow down your hand speed as you move up the brackets from a 3 to a 5 to a 7 to a 9 to an 11 to a 14. You'll find that you got to slow your hand speed down to really sync that perfect line. Yep.
Okay, let's see. Well, we're having some technical difficulties. Oh, nope, we're live. Hey, it's still working. We ran out of battery, but we fixed it. Casey,
for your
you
camera,
are
right?
the man.
For
yes,
your okay,
yes.
Okay.
So we actually are about to do the raffle.
Okay.
We had 122 people sign up here.
Goodness gracious.
So just making sure we're giving you guys all proof here. We've got 122 people all signed up. Here's trying to get it there. Oh, and then it went dead.
That's okay.
So we're going to go over here to the random org. Right here, we've got 122.
Hold on, James.
Are we in screen?
Who is going to win?
Can you turn down the brightness on your...
Yes, we can. We can definitely do that. There we go.
Oh, down.
Oh, down.
Yes,
there we go.
Down.
There we are.
Okay, that'll work.
Right there? Okay, guys. So, out of 122 people, generator select number 18. And that is our winner for today's Bishop Wand of their choice is Raul Moreno. Raul, we will be getting in contact with you, my friend.
Congratulations, Raul.
Again, the winner, let's see, was number 18, Mr. Raul Moreno. If you can send a message to us on Messenger, and Gabe will get in contact with you. We will get you all the information.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on winning your
Yay!
Yep, congratulations. Okay, real quick. Yeah, so we're going to be doing less Fridays with me, and we're going to do them about once a month. So what we're going to do is we're going to power pack them full of cool stuff, cool giveaways. So besides giving away education, answering your questions, we're going to be giving away machines, packages like we did today. Not just during the month of December, but this is just who we are as a company. We love giving back. We love excitement. And so stay tuned. We're going to be coming out with some more episodes on different topics in education. So it'll be once a month. So tell your friends, sign up for the YouTube, link in below. We're going to be giving away a lot of cool stuff.
And make sure you also sign up for our SMS message blast. Text Bishop VIP to 29071. If you're international, it's +1 973 547-1071.
What's cool about the Messenger is it's an exciting group because whoever signs up for Messenger, we launch, we tell, we explain, we give away different things. We make sure that you know about different launches maybe a couple hours before the rest of the world, maybe before we put it on Instagram. It's your best way to stay closely attached to Bishop. We're not going to annoy you and send you a bunch of BS crap. I promise you. Right, Gabe? Things we send matter. We don't get people unclicking very often from our SMS list, so we're not going to annoy you. We're going to keep it super fun. Anytime you get a text from Bishop, we're either launching a new product, doing a giveaway, or something cool.
Maybe we announce the next Louis Vuitton commission? Maybe that could be something we drop on that.
You never know. But the SMS list is the spot to be at. So sign up. All right.
Thank you, guys. Franco, thank you for joining us here. Everybody at home, thank you for tuning in. We always love and appreciate you guys. Thank you, Franco. Happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays to everybody. We'll make it past this COVID. Keep your head up. Shine through. Use this as a time to become better, not become worse. It's a possible become better, not become worse. It's a possible chance for all of us to succeed. So stay in there.
All right, you guys. Thanks again for everybody tuning in. Make sure you guys be ready for the next episode. We're going to have plenty of giveaways and more raffles. Stay tuned for the release of the battery pack. We hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. Have a blessed weekend. And remember, if nobody loves you, Bishop's got you.
True story.
And Chuco.